What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Not So Pro Football Talk. It's Monday. It's another video. It's 6 o'clock, and we got some, I guess, not so new news, but we're going to talk about some updates that has happened recently. So I'm pretty excited. I miss football, you guys. I try to watch the. Happy Mother's Day also, but to all you mothers out there, Happy Mother's Day. I know I went down to the valley, go say hi to my mom, and she was very grateful for that. It was a long road trip. But yeah, Happy Mother's Day there. This weekend I tried watching the USFL. I mean, I love football, I love the sport, but I cannot get into it. It's tough, especially with the Michigan Panthers. They are what we are saying earlier, booty, man. Horrible. They missed the game-winning field goal with 21 yards out. What are you doing, man? Shea Patterson, gosh, man. Can't get into that. Cannot wait for the NFL to start. This Thursday, we are getting releases of the schedule for all these NFL teams. I don't know if you remember last year, I had a lot of fun looking at all the different videos that the teams released. I think one of my favorites was the Jacksonville Jaguars. That was an awesome video. They had a lot of comedy in there. So I'm looking forward to that. What's up, Nestor? Appreciate you being here. Welcome to the live stream of Not So Pro Football Talk. This guy's always out here, man. He's a top fan on Facebook. If you guys haven't redeemed your top fan badge, go to Facebook, redeem that top fan. There are some perks that come with it. We'll make sure you guys get recognized. But appreciate you being here, Nestor. This guy's always here every Monday. But yeah, you guys, this football stuff. Yeah, football stuff. It's great. I love being here. I love talking about this. I do want to kick off the show with some news for NSP. Guys, we are so close to our goal. Okay. We are at 141 subscribers. We've done this for a little over a year, so we're not quite on our quota. We're not at par yet. But we did say last time we did a giveaway that once we reach 150 subscribers, we're going to do another big giveaway. Okay. I know last time we did a mystery signed jersey. It was a jersey, right? Mystery signed jersey. But this time, we're going to tell you guys what it is. It's an Xavier Howard signed jersey. Xavier Howard from Miami Dolphins. I actually have it right here. It's a beautiful jersey, you guys. I'm going to put it right there. Signature number 25. It does have that JSA certification number on there, so you can look it up. It is legit. It's awesome. Like I said, I love the colors. I've never actually seen, I've seen a jersey like before, but I never actually had in my possession a Miami Dolphins jersey. Just the color pops out. I'd love to have that in my room, especially Xavier Howard, top 5 corner in the league. This guy is awesome. He's going to get paid big time, even more after this season. He's the 4th highest paid corner, right?
I believe so. Yeah, he's up there in the numbers. Respectfully so. He's a good guy at the position. So I thought it was pretty cool that we got his jersey out of everybody else's. As I know, the one that we bought, it was all the upcoming or NFL Pro Bowl.
Yeah, it is today's players.
Yeah.
Or today's stars. But you know what, Vince? You know what's cooler than being cool? Ice cold, baby. And if you want to be ice cold, this is how you do it. This stuff is totally free, you guys. I know what they say, nothing in life is free, but we paid for this. We want to give it away to one of our lucky subscribers. So once we hit at 150 subscribers, we're going to release the information on how to enter this giveaway. And honestly, you don't have to spend a dime. Okay, so once we hit 150, go tell your friends, go tell your family. We're going to release how to enter, and you could be the lucky winner to win this awesome giveaway. So thank you all so much for being here. Let's get into it. From the title of the video, we're asking the question: should Ryan Tannehill mentor Malik Willis, the third round draft pick, second QB to come off the list? Vince, Ryan Tannehill said that it is not his job to mentor Malik Willis. Do you have a problem with that?
I have a big problem with that.
Oh,
I
okay.
I think that's kind of disrespectful uh, towards Malik Willis. I think Malik Willis is coming in with the right momentum, the right mindset. He wasn't extremely angry when he was waiting in the green room that first day and didn't get picked. And he didn't even get picked until later on in the second day. Uh, so that's crazy, but I think he's doing the right thing. And yeah, I just have a huge problem with Tannehill. I think that's super like just disrespectful. Something that just doesn't make sense to me. I think that a star quarterback like him, I mean, he's not even a star either. Look at this attack.
Attack.
But yeah, I think Tannehill just he's being a baby right now. I think he's scared that his job is kind of at risk because there's been so much hype around Malik Willis, even though he was in a small time college. But I think Tannehill is just a little scared. You know, I think his contract is coming up, even if it isn't, if I'm not mistaken. I just feel like he doesn't have so much to give to that franchise, especially with that first round exit that they just had and all the early exits that they usually have as the playoff contenders in the AFC.
I agree and also disagree with you, Vince. I am disappointed as well, but not for those certain reasons. Ryan Tannehill, I feel like he's an awesome quarterback. He's a Texas boy, so you got to root for him. We're here from Texas, so he's out there. He's proving that a quarterback from Texas could do it. But the way he went about it, I felt like he should have worded uh, it like that. It was asked a question, will you mentor Malik Willis? And he says that I don't think it is my job to mentor Malik Willis. If he learns from me along the way, that's great. That's all he said. And yeah, Malik Willis, he came from a small school. He came from Liberty. He was on the third round, second quarterback, got gone from the draft. And honestly, I kind of feel for the guy, but I also feel for Ryan Tannehill. If I was Malik Willis, I want to get mentored. I want to learn. But also Ryan Tannehill, this is where I'm disappointed at. I'm disappointed that this just shows that he's insecure. He's insecure about his play styles, insecure about himself. He's insecure about his job. He thinks that this rookie's going to come out here, do what he can do, and do it better than what he can do. Now, if that's coming from your starting quarterback, then you have some real problems. I know he came out. He said that he needed therapy after the playoff loss, where he had 3 interceptions and only 1 touchdown. It's hard to win a game when you have 3 interceptions like that. So yeah, he said that every time he closed his eyes, each interception would just replay in his mind. He had to go see a therapist, talk to people, and he was in a very dark place for a very long time. And yeah, that kind of it's a trigger. I get that he cares about the game, he cares about the sport, but if I was a Titans fan, I'm worried, saying that, oh my gosh, this quarterback, he might not be ready to come back. He might not be ready to take the lead role because he's supposed to be the leader, the guy that everyone looks up to. And so yeah, sorry, it is not in your job description to mentor someone, but it's also in your job description to lead the team. And what you did in that playoff game, you did not lead the team to victory. You hurt them more than anything. So don't blame the Titans for drafting a quarterback. It wasn't even early; it was a third round. It's not like a Jimmy G situation where they gave up so many first round draft picks to get a young QB. It's not that situation. Your job is not gone yet. He still has one more year with the Tennessee Titans, and they have a huge chance of making it to the playoffs again. They have a solid team. They did lose AJ Brown, but they still got Derrick Henry. And all you got to do, Tannehill, he's a super accurate quarterback. I said this last podcast. Just put the ball in the numbers, man. Put the ball in the numbers, and your job will be secured. And if he's not saying that he's not willing to mentor the guy. I believe if Malik Willis will go up to him and be like, "Hey, can I study some film with you? Can I throw a few passes?" What he's going to be 100% okay with it. But the way he went about the press conference, I disagree with.
Yeah, man, I agree with you there. I know that it is not his job in his job description to mentor someone who's gonna most likely eventually take his spot if he does come out and play pretty good in the practice in the practices that they have there at Tennessee. But what I was gonna say right now is I know that of course they got rid of AJ Brown and they drafted Treylon Burks if I'm not mistaken. So they have someone to fill the spot there for that absence. But I know there's gonna be a lot of Titans fans out here, hopefully, that are gonna say like, "Oh, it's because Derrick Henry was hurt. You know, he's a big dip in our offensive scheme." And I understand that, but you did have guys who were also stepping up to the plate. And when injuries happen, just like they do to any football team in the NFL, you should have someone who's going to take the reins and lead the team to, they're the first seed. Let's show them why we're the first seed, even if our star running back is out. And I feel like Tannehill didn't do that. And it just shows that he is insecure about his play style. He is insecure, like, oh, I can't lead this team by myself. I need help. And he's like, that's why I'm not going to mentor this quarterback, because maybe he can do it all himself and then they're going to bench me. Or, you never know what goes on in your head, especially when that question has just popped up on you right after the draft when you go into minicamp. And just you go back into the facility and you see that guy there and you're like, you feel like a little insecure, I guess, maybe not everybody would, but you got to have confidence in yourself. And when you make a statement like that, it doesn't really seem like you have the utmost confidence that you're going to ball out and beat him out of the position, because he is younger. He's faster. He's got a stronger arm, in my opinion, from the tape. And, if you want to say he could probably hand the ball off to Derrick Henry in like a double or triple option type scenario, I think he does that better as well, because Tannehill's fast, but he's not as fast as Malik Willis.
That's true. He just has to go out there and compete. That's what football is. Let's say, I know it has no comparison, but just so everyday people like us could feel for it, if I'm here at work and they just hire someone with the exact same position as me, I'm going to want to do better at my job. I'm going to compete. And yeah, a little sense of insecurity will phase me, but I will not let that show. I will not make it obvious. I want to go out there. I want to go compete. I want to do whatever I do 10 times better, just because I want to secure my job and secure my future there. And that's what football is. It's a competitive sport. You just got to continue to compete out there, backup or not. You're out there to lead the team into victory, and that's what you have to do. But from the clues that we got, Vince, him and his press conference, the way he went about it, because he could have easily gone and say, oh, yeah, I'll teach him a thing or two. I'll be there for him, help him develop, help him learn. But he did not go with the script. He went off script. And that just goes to show that he is really hurting inside. For you to really speak your mind, that means it's really bothering you. And I kind of feel like this, reflects off the organization of the Tennessee Titans, because he also reported that he had no idea that they're getting rid of his number one receiver, AJ Brown, that he had no idea that they were going to draft another quarterback in this draft. So he was left in the dark. So that organization, you gotta give your starting quarterback, the guy who you're trusting with the ball every single play, a little bit of info. Like, hey, man, it's not that hard. At least I don't think it is. Hey, Tannehill, we're going to be drafting this quarterback in the third round. Just letting you know. If it's in the third round, okay? He should be okay with just being inside the loop. And then just like that, he got told, or he saw on TV that AJ Brown got traded. That's huge. And AJ Brown didn't do any justice himself, also reflecting off the organization of the Titans. He just went on Twitter and said, now that it's all done, just letting you know it's all on the Titans. He didn't say, hey, thank you, Tennessee, for all the time. I appreciate my team. He didn't say any of that. He just said, hey, man, it's all the Titans doing right here. I am finally free. So I feel like that just shows a lot of the Tennessee Titans and how they run things. I just feel like it's a lot of disrespect there concerning the players and the coaches and head staff.
Yeah, just the last statements on that. I think in his press conference, he also said that he was trying to back himself up, saying that Malik Willis is going to be at the same practices. He's going to have the same amount of reps. He's going to practice with the same offense. He's going to practice. He's going to watch the same film. He's going to be in the same QB room with the same QB coach. He's like, he doesn't need me to mentor him. But it just, young guys coming into the league, they're about to make money. They're about to meet a whole bunch of new guys who are pros. You want everybody in your corner, even if you're not going to start for that team within the first year that you're drafted, you want to feel included. I think Tannehill should have done that. I mean, it's not his job to be nice to someone who's coming into the organization, but as a leader, you should show the ropes to the new people that come in, whether they're on the offense, whether on the defense. Just be inviting, man. That y'all are gonna make the 52-man squad. Y'all are gonna be in the same locker room. Just like he said, they're gonna be in the same room for tape. They're gonna be repping simultaneously, right next to each other most of the time too, when they're just throwing route running passes. But I just feel like that's going to create a lot of tension between them. And I mean, maybe we're wrong. Maybe they're going to be more tight knit than we think they're going to be. But I mean, from what it seems like, the way the media is spinning it and the way that press conference went, it looks like there's going to be a little bit of heat between them for a little while.
And that's the last thing they need, man. They lost their star receiver. They got Traylon Burks, and I'm a huge Burks guy. I feel like he's going to be great in the league, but he's going to be a rookie. I don't know how fast he's going to translate to the pro league. He might not be like Jamar Chase, you know. He might be a little bit slow to develop. And then you got Derrick Henry, who you guys are just pounding him with the rock, and his time is dwindling down because of how much they're using him. And there's high expectations of him getting hurt next season, and you don't want to see it, but the way he runs the ball, how physical he is, and how much that team relies on him, it's possible. So if that happens, what are you doing as the Tennessee Titans? You know, you got one more year with Ryan Tannehill. Maybe you could have waited to the next draft class of QBs. They think they're going to go high in the playoffs again, but Tannehill, you just got to play your game, go out there, compete, and go out there and win. That's all you got to do. Go out there and win. And honestly, you still have a great chance of doing that in that division. You don't gotta freak out. It's okay. Look at that whole Alex Smith and Patrick Mahomes deal. They drafted Patrick Mahomes. We didn't hear about Patrick Mahomes until the following year when they got rid of Alex Smith. He's a great quarterback, but what did Alex Smith do? He got a job somewhere else. So Tannehill, he still thinks he's young enough to start in the league for the next 5 years. You can still do that as long as you go out there and complete and ball. I mean, if you don't do that, then you're going to be a backup somewhere else. And I get that some people have reputations like, oh, they're a jerk to their backups. I mean, if you look at Jay Cutler back in the day, even Tom Brady, there was even reports that he wasn't the nicest guy to Jimmy G or nicest guy to Jacoby Brissett. He's competing. He's going to go out there and he's like, hey, I'm the best. I don't feel threatened by you. And you're going to stay behind me as long as I'm here. That's the type of mentality you got to have as a QB. You got to have your confidence. And right now, I feel like your confidence is all gone, which makes me not have high hopes for the Tennessee Titans. I don't think you guys are going to go far because Malik Willis, I don't think he's ready from what I've seen, coming from a small school. I know it sounded kind of like a hypocrite because Trey Lance is coming from a small school as well. But Malik Willis, he's fresh. He's coming out. I don't think he's ready to go to the playoffs, especially with that team. They could work a little bit on their defense, but you lost A.J. Brown, like I said 1,000 times this show already. You got Derrick Henry, but what else? You need more.
Yeah, and that's basically what it's been over there in Tennessee. It's been that two-man show where it's A.J. Brown with a slant or an over-the-top route, and then they give the ball to Derrick Henry at the goal line, or they give the ball to Derrick Henry like 15 plays out of the next 20 offensive snaps they run. And just like you said, he's got a high chance of getting hurt. But so that's bad for fantasy purposes. So we'll talk about that later on.
Very bad.
But yeah, I think they're going down slowly but surely because they're losing their stars here and there. And then don't get me wrong, I think that trade was good because they can go ahead and get some new talent when they traded away A.J. Brown. But when everybody's in that mode where they want to compete now and win now and go for a championship now, I think that they kind of like shot the gun a little bit too early on that. I think they should have paid him, extended him, and then they could have traded him and got some money off the books. But in my opinion, I just don't see the Titans being anywhere in the top 3 seeds this playoff this time.
And it's funny how you say, should have extended him or paid him. And I feel like you're kind of referencing a little bit of A.J. Brown there as well. Yeah. Did you hear about the reports that the Tennessee Titans, going back to how the organization is, they only offered him $16 million a year?
Oh, wow.
That I mean, and they weren't budging. They said, "Hey, 60 mil a year. Well, you could go. That's fine." That's kind of messed up. I feel like AJ Brown is, a top receiver in the league for as young as he is. I think he's worth a lot more than 60 mil a year. I know the Tennessee Titans have a lot of trouble concerning the cap, but that's your star player, besides Derrick Henry. You got Tannehill for one more year. I feel like your win now scenario was when you had AJ Brown.
Yeah.
Now you're like treading water. You're trying to stay afloat. You got Treylon Burks, great pick. Okay, but he doesn't have the experience. So you got one more year with Tannehill, and who knows how long you have with Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I just think there's going to be a lot of growing pains, man. I like the Tennessee Titans, especially this past year. They played really well together, and their play style was pretty fun to watch when you like to look at the O-line do their stuff. And then, of course, when you like big hits, because Derrick Henry really did that this season, all season. I mean, every time you see ESPN's top 10, you see Derrick Henry in there at least once, stiff-arming someone to another dimension. I just think that the Titans need to win now, and I think the way they're doing that, it's not going to really help them. But I mean, what can you do, man? What can you do? I think just Tannehill is just overall, he doesn't know where his next contract is going to come. And especially when they draft a quarterback in this draft, which was not a quarterback heavy draft, I think he's like, there's writings on the wall. The organization isn't the best with being transparent on what they're going to do for the team to move forward. And he's getting older too, and so is Derrick Henry. So I think their jobs are kind of in jeopardy within these next couple of years.
I did a little bit of research right here. So Derrick Henry, he's going to be a free agent in 2024.
Mhm.
So he basically has one more year.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I could totally see the Tennessee Titans just, clearing ship.
Scrapping.
Tannehill, he's out. Derrick Henry, out. Whatever other big old contracts you have, all of them, they're cleaning house. I get why you drafted Malik Willis. You wanted him to develop. Did you fire the gun a little bit too early on the quarterback as far as year-wise? Maybe you're supposed to have a great quarterback class next year, but you never know how these QBs are going to translate to the NFL. I just felt like that there's no not I don't want to say communication, but it's very messy from what it looks like in that organization, and it just makes it tough to root for the Titans. You want to see them succeed, just I don't see it happening, man. I just don't. I'm honestly scared. I was super happy for them. Huge AJ Brown guy. Like the way Derrick Henry plays, and we could talk a little bit of fantasy too. Derrick Henry's stock market, in my opinion, it's going up.
I think it went up. Yeah,
It's going up. So those y'all who are thinking about, hey, maybe I should draft a receiver first round, Jamar Chase, or maybe because AJ Brown's stock market went down. So if you're looking at wide receiver spots, his stock went down big time. So first overall pick, if you have that, I know if I have it, I'm picking Derrick Henry. His stock goes up, and the only way he won't succeed in fantasy is if he gets injured, because he's going to be getting fed that rock day in and day out.
Yeah, especially when you lose a star wide receiver like that. Of course, we talked about Treylon Burks already, and he's gonna translate pretty decently to the league, but we don't know if he's gonna be the Jamar Chase level. That's the thing. He could just be a regular old receiver like everybody that comes in. But yeah, I still say that Derrick Henry is like a top 3 pick, because especially if you're doing a serious draft, you want to get those running backs in who are getting the football every other play, basically. Pretty much 20 plus, 25 plus carries a game. And then, of course, with him, he gets stronger as the game goes along. So the points just keep racking up and racking up. So, yeah, I think that they still have their star in Derrick Henry, but them as a team, they're just trending down bad. And then speaking on A.J. Brown, I think him going with Jalen Hurts over there to the Eagles, I think that's one of the best situations he can think of for him, because he's going over there with a young team. They're coming up just little by little every year. I think Jalen Hurts is getting better as well. even though he is more of a mobile quarterback this past year. But then again, you look at his wide receiver core that he had, and he was running for his life trying to look for someone that was open, man. I
Yeah.
personally loved him on my fantasy team because he would get me 20 plus points pretty averagely because of running and rushing touchdowns. But I think his stock will go up as well just because of AJ Brown going to his team.
But even with that, with Jalen Hurts being a mobile quarterback, you really think um, his stock would go up having AJ Brown, or will AJ Brown's stock go down because Jalen Hurts is a mobile quarterback?
So speaking on AJ Brown first, I think his stock is going to go down a little bit in the beginning of the season, but as the season goes along, they're going to have more synergy and they're going to have more time to develop a bond there between where he wants the ball placed, and you know you got to get all that stuff sorted out with a quarterback and wide receiver, especially when you have two stars like that. On Jalen Hurts, I think it's going to be better for him because I forgot. I think it was Jalen Rager who they drafted last year, and he was total trash. I hate that guy. I hate him just because of how many passes that he dropped every single game. They're right in his hands. And Jalen Hurts is a good passing quarterback. Don't get me wrong; he's not elite, but he got the ball there to his receivers, and I think he was doing pretty well. So I think Jalen Hurts' stock will go up, but AJ Brown's will go down a little bit until they get a rhythm going.
Cool, cool. And I want to pump the brakes just a little bit. I want to retract to what I said just a little bit because I totally forgot about this transaction that happened in the middle of the season. The Tennessee Titans, they did acquire Robert Woods. I totally forgot about that. So they do have Robert Woods. Am I saying that's a replacement for A.G. Brown? Not at all. I'm saying that that's a solid veteran wide receiver that Tannehill could rely on pretty heavily. Um, so I do think I still think Derrick Henry he's going to be huge stock up just because Woods and Tannehill don't have that connection yet, but they're in a win now scenario. They're going to do everything they can in their power to go far this year because after this year it's just downhill.
Yeah, that's news to me too. I forgot that that trade was so under the wraps when it happened. Nobody really reported on it because Robert Woods had an injury this past year. So that's another thing too. You don't know how he will come back. I believe he tore his ACL uh,
Mhm.
mid-season, so he should be recovering pretty well right now, and he should be coming back for training camp in the summer. But yeah, Robert Woods is no AJ Brown. He's a good background wide receiver. He'll get his catches. He'll uh, get uh, what's it called? Like he'll catch it and he'll fall. Basically, he gets hit almost every time he catches the ball, but he holds on. So he doesn't really get any yards after contact like AJ Brown would when with that big
Yeah.
body of his. But yeah, that's why I think also, even though we just brought that to our fans' attentions right now, I still think the Titans are trending downward because Robert Woods is a older receiver as well, coming off an injury. So you don't know how much his production will be there.
Very true. Yeah, you don't know how he's going to come about it. I do think obviously the Rams. I feel like they won that trade, but I don't know. Hopefully, Robert Woods can excel there. But out of that division, I've heard a lot of talk, especially from the PI podcast, saying that Tennessee is probably going to fall down to the third rank on that division. I don't really see that happening. I feel like it's pretty tough. You mean you got the Tennessee Titans, Colts, Houston Texans, and Jacksonville Jaguars. A lot of people are still thinking that the Houston Texans are still hot garbage. I don't think so. I think they could surprise a lot of people. I honestly, I believe that's true. I think they could surprise a lot of people this upcoming season, especially when we see the schedule coming out. Maybe it's to their favor, but the Texans they got some young players that have a bright future on there. But as far as the Jacksonville Jaguars, as long as they just need to address that O line, address the
Yeah.
O line, and then you could be solid. But as far as placing second in that division, that's kind of tough. I still think the Tennessee Titans have it, but the Colts they look dangerous now with Matt Ryan there as QB. That's dangerous. Jonathan Taylor in the background. I know a lot of people are probably thinking too, like you would take Jonathan Taylor and the first overall pick, you would take Derrick Henry over him. Yeah, I would. You gotta see how many times these players are going to be fed the ball, and Jonathan Taylor's going to take a huge load. But don't forget that he also uses a three-man running back in the backfield. And then Ryan Tannehill, that guy's a ball placer, man. He would pass the ball. He's not afraid to get crazy with it. He's a veteran QB that knows what he's doing. But yeah, in that division, it's kind of tough. And this is kind of an early say so, but I see the Titans. No, I see the Colts, Titans, Jaguars, Texans. I guess I'm a hypocrite, right? I'm still saying Texans last.
No, I like the Texans too. I like Davis Mills and the direction they're going. They picked a lot of defensive picks this draft, so we'll see how they translate to the NFL. See if they're going to help that team out, which I'm sure they will, but we'll see how much. So yeah, I think the Texans are trending up. I think the Jaguars are trending up as well. I think pretty much everybody is trending up except for the Titans in that division. So we'll see if we can talk about that again later on when we do like division talks again, hopefully, or something. But yeah, I think a lot of teams that were at the bottom of the barrel last year are rising up, and a lot of teams that were pretty decent last year are going to be trending down just because of some moves that we saw this free agency.
Okay. One last hot take before we head out, Vince, is Ryan Tannehill. You see him with the Tennessee Titans next year or no?
I think it all depends on the placement they have in the draft for another QB. If they don't want to go with Malik Willis and if he's not showing anything, but honestly, in my opinion, I think they sign him on a small deal just to save them some time. I think he is a decent enough quarterback to stay there for a little while longer, but I don't see them going for like a 5-year deal or anything like that.
You think maybe like a 1-year vet maximum?
Yeah, because he's coming up along those ages where, I mean, he's no like Tom Brady age or Matty Ice age. But
yeah, he's 33. He's 33. You know, he still has time.
So I think it'd be like a 1-2 year deal, prove it deal. Just depends on how he plays this year. And I don't think he's going to play over the top from his over the top compared to this previous years that he's played with the Titans.
That's true. If they really want to win, they'll go make a move for Jimmy G. 100%. All right, you guys. Thank you all. So I do want to remind you guys, we are doing a giveaway. As soon as we hit 150 subscribers, go out there, tell your mom, tell your dad, your friends. If you have friends, your sister-in-law, stepbrother, go out there. So we're giving out let me present this nicely. Xavier Howard signed jersey. It is signed, letter of authenticity inside. It's pretty nice if you guys are a Dolphins fan or if you guys are just an NFL fan like us. Top 5 corner in the league. This guy's awesome. So totally free. Once we hit 150 subscribers, we'll go out there on our social medias, let you guys know how you could enter and win this bad boy. All right. Now, before we head off, Vince, you got anything to say?
Nah, man, just have fun going into the summer. Keep up with the NFL teams and what's going on right now, because there's still a lot of drama out here, and we're going to see how the NFL translates.
Yeah, a lot of drama. Remember, keep an eye out for Thursday, okay? We got some big news coming out Thursday regarding the schedules of each team. So it should be a lot of fun, honestly. A couple days out. But yeah, until next time, you guys, keep on grinding. Appreciate y'all being here.